Welcome and thank you for joining us. You are watching Millennium News Hour and I am Tanzeeba Noreen. Today we have brought up and trending news from across the nation and the world. Let's begin with the headlines. Donald Trump guilty on all 34 felony counts in hush money trial. Ron DeSantis hopes to raise at least $10 million to boost Trump. Senator Bob Menendez has enough signatures to run as an independent despite his bribery trial. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. files complaint over rules for CNN's presidential debate next month. Biden to make his first state visit to France after attending D-Day 80th commemorations next week. Nikki Haley writes, "Finish them on Israeli shell," lawmaker says. Boeing reaches deadline for reporting how it will fix aircraft safety and quality problems. General Hospital actor Johnny Wachter died in arms of co-worker he shielded from harm moments before he was fatally shot. John Lennon's lost guitar featured on Help sold for a record $2.8 million. Iran opens presidential election registration after Ibrahim Rais's death in a helicopter crash. North Korea fires a volley of short-range ballistic missiles. And Aryna Sabalenka and Daniil Medvedev advance as rain continues to disrupt the French Open. You were listening to Headlines, now news in detail. Former President Donald Trump told reporters after jurors began deliberating in his criminal hush money trial that the charges were rigged and again accused the judge of being conflicted. In his words, Mother Teresa could not beat these charges. The jury in former President Donald Trump's hush money trial resumed deliberations Thursday after revisiting portions of the judge's instructions and rehearing testimony from multiple key witnesses about the alleged scheme at the heart of the history-making case. Former President Donald Trump was found guilty on all 34 felony counts of falsifying business records in connection with the hush money payment to adult film actor Stormy Daniels near the end of the 2016 presidential campaign. The verdict came in the 12-person jury's second day of deliberations. Sentencing has been scheduled for July 11. The judge responded to a jury request by rereading 30 pages of jury instructions. The 12-person jury, which deliberated for about 4.5 hours Wednesday without reaching a verdict, also reheard testimony Thursday morning from a tabloid publisher and Trump's former lawyer and personal fixer. Ron DeSantis hopes to raise at least $10 million as part of a multi-state fundraising swing for Donald Trump, a man he fought in a bitter primary race but with whom he has now found a cautious truce. "I think we believe Biden needs to be beat, and the governor is willing to put the sword down," a top DeSantis advisor said. They have had several good conversations as recently as last week. The fundraising events will begin as soon as July and likely run through September, the DeSantis advisor said, with multiple events expected in Texas, California, and Washington. The plan is to tap into states where DeSantis already had substantial donor networks from his own presidential bid to be able to quickly raise cash for Trump. It's in places where there is existing infrastructure for stuff like this, the DeSantis advisor said. The money raised will be used to fund media buys in key swing states targeted by Trump's political orbit. Indicted Senator Bob Menendez has collected the necessary signatures to run for re-election to the Senate as an independent. 5 people familiar with the matter said. Menendez needs 800 signatures by June 4 to gain ballot access in November and hopes to reach closer to 10,000 signatures by that date, according to 3 sources with knowledge of his plans. One of the sources, who previously worked for Menendez, said the senator, who is currently on trial on federal bribery charges, wants the number of signatures to be a statement in and of itself to show the level of support he still has. If successful, Menendez would likely face off against New Jersey Democratic Representative Andy Kim, who is considered to be the front-runner in the race to replace him, and a Republican. The primary, in which Kim will face Patricia Campos Medina and several Republicans will face off for their party's nomination, is June 4. Independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. filed an election complaint Wednesday, alleging CNN is colluding with Democratic President Joe Biden and presumptive Republican nominee Donald Trump to exclude him from a debate the network is hosting next month. Kennedy alleges the requirements to participate in the June 27 debate were designed to ensure only Biden and Trump would qualify, and Kennedy claims he is being held to a higher standard. CNN is making prohibited corporate contributions to both campaigns, and the Biden committee and the Trump committee have accepted these prohibited corporate contributions. A lawyer for Kennedy, Lawrence Holloway, wrote in a letter to the Federal Election Commission. CNN said the complaint was without merit. Biden and Trump agreed this month to the CNN debate and a second on September 10, hosted by ABC, bypassing the non-partisan commission that has organized debates for nearly 4 decades. The first debate will come before Biden and Trump have been formally nominated by their parties this summer. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science-related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your feast. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. French President Emmanuel Macron's office said Thursday that President Joe Biden will make his first state visit to France next week after attending D-Day 80th anniversary commemorations in Normandy. Macron will be hosting Biden and his wife Jill on June 8, the statement said. Both presidents will discuss the need for unwavering long-term support for Ukraine at a time when war has returned to Europe 80 years after the landings that led to the liberation of France and the continent from Nazi Germany's occupation. Macron's office said. In Normandy next week, major commemorations will draw 25 heads of state and government, along with dozens of World War II veterans, to honor the nearly 160,000 troops from Britain, the United States, Canada, and other nations that landed on June 6, 1944. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky is among those expected to attend. Biden's state visit will allow close coordination between France and the US on world crises ahead of international events, including the summit of the Group of 7 major economies next month in Italy and the NATO summit in Washington in July. Discussions also will include climate-related issues and will focus on strengthening bilateral cooperation, particularly in the economic space and nuclear fields, the statement said. Former U.S. presidential hopeful Nikki Haley has been photographed writing "Finish them" on an Israeli shell as she toured sites near the northern border with Lebanon. The photograph was posted on X on Tuesday by Danny Danon, a member of the Israeli parliament and former ambassador to the United Nations, who was accompanying Haley on her visit. "Finish them. This is what my friend, the former ambassador Nikki Haley, wrote," Danon said in his post that showed a kneeling Haley writing on a shell with a purple marker pen. Haley was a hawkish UN envoy under Donald Trump, and her term overlapped with Danon. Boeing is due to tell federal regulators Thursday how it plans to fix the safety and quality problems that have plagued its aircraft manufacturing work in recent years. The Federal Aviation Administration required the company to produce a turnaround plan after one of its jetliners suffered a blowout of a fuselage panel during an Alaska Airlines flight in January. Nobody was hurt during the mid-air incident. Accident investigators determined that bolts that helped secure the panel to the frame of the Boeing 737 MAX 9 were missing before the piece blew off. The mishap has further battered Boeing's reputation and led to multiple civil and criminal investigations. Whistleblowers have accused the company of taking shortcuts that endanger passengers, a claim that Boeing disputes. A panel convened by the FAA found shortcomings in the aircraft maker's safety culture. In late February, FAA Administrator Mike Whitaker gave Boeing 90 days to come up with a plan to improve quality and ease the agency's safety concerns. Whitaker described the plan as the beginning, not the end, of a process to improve Boeing. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science-related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your fist. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. A friend and co-worker of actor Johnny Wachter, who was fatally shot over the weekend while interrupting a catalytic converter theft in downtown Los Angeles, spent his last moments shielding her from harm before he died in her arms. The 37-year-old actor who played Brando Corbin in the beloved soap opera General Hospital died of a gunshot wound to the chest on Saturday, and his death was ruled a homicide by the LA County Medical Examiner's Office. Vector's co-worker and friend of 8 years, Anita Joy, who was with him when he was shot, shared an emotional Instagram post Wednesday, sharing the horror that unfolded that night. Joy and Vector had worked a bartending shift Friday night at Level 8 in downtown Los Angeles and were headed to their cars in the early hours of Saturday morning when they approached a man seen near his car, thinking Vector's car was possibly being towed. Then a shot rang out. Joy said Vector was between herself and the person who shot him. Los Angeles police said that on Saturday at 3:25 a.m., officers responded to a call of an assault with a deadly weapon and found Vector suffering from an apparent gunshot wound. He was transported to a local hospital where he was pronounced deceased. A lost guitar played by John Lennon at height of Beatlemania that had been stashed away in an attic for decades has been sold at auction for more than $2.8 million. The sale makes it the most expensive item belonging to a former Beatle and one of the most expensive guitars of all time. The 1964 12-string famous Hootenanny guitar played by both Lennon and George Harrison during the making of Help, and Robert Soul in 1965 was considered missing for 50 years, but it re-emerged and was sold at New York's Hard Rock Cafe on Wednesday for more than $2.8 million, Julian's Auction said in a statement. A Gibson acoustic guitar, also once owned by Lennon, was sold at auction for $2.4 million in 2015. Lennon can be seen playing the famous guitar in the movie Help, and it has been matched to photos from recording sessions and handwritten notes by producer George Martin, the auctioneer said. Now it's time for global updates. Iran has opened a 5-day registration period for hopefuls wanting to run in the June 28 presidential election to replace Ibrahim Raisi, who was killed in a helicopter crash earlier this month along with 7 other people. The election comes as Iran grapples with the aftermath of the May 19 crash, as well as heightened tensions between Tehran and the United States and protests, including those over the 2022 death of Mahsa Amini, that have swept the country. While Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei maintains final say over all matters of state, presidents in the past have bent the Islamic Republic of Iran towards greater interaction or increased hostility with the West. The 5-day period will see those between the ages of 40 to 75 with at least a master's degree register as potential candidates. All candidates must ultimately be approved by Iran's 12-member Guardian Council, a panel of clerics and jurists ultimately overseen by Ayatollah Khamenei. The panel has never accepted a woman nor anyone calling for radical change within the country's governance. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science-related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your feed. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. You are watching latest global updates. North Korea has launched multiple short-range ballistic missiles, South Korea's military said, as it continues to develop its military weaponry in breach of international sanctions. The 10 missiles were launched from the Sudan area at about 6:14 a.m. on Thursday towards the east, South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff said in a statement. The statement said the missiles traveled about 350 kilometers before ditching into the sea. The military said the launch was a clear provocation on the part of Pyongyang and seriously threatens the peace and stability of the Korean peninsula. The missile launch comes 3 days after North Korea's attempt to put a second spy satellite into orbit ended in failure when the rocket carrying the equipment exploded in midair. Leader Kim Jong-un has made developing more sophisticated weaponry and military equipment a cornerstone of his efforts to modernize North Korea's armed forces. He has deepened relations with Russia and has been accused of providing weapons for Moscow to use against Ukraine in return for Russian technological expertise. The United States, a close ally of South Korea, condemned the launch with the Indo-Pacific Command urging North Korea to refrain from further unlawful and destabilizing acts. Now it's time for business news. Today's New York stock close price is 17,852.36. The NYSE Composite is increased by 57.47 points or 0.32%. Tokyo stock close price is 38,054.13. The Nikkei 225 index decreased by 502.74 points or 1.30%. Shanghai stock close price is 3,091.68. The Shanghai index decreased by 19.34 points or 0.62%. Hong Kong stock close price is 18,230.19. The Hang Seng Index is decreased by 246.82 points or 1.34%. Bombay stock close price is 73,885.60. The Sensex index decreased by 617.30 points or 0.83%. Let's have a look on today's sports story. Australian Open champion Aryna Sabalenka stayed out of the rain and moved into the third round of the French Open on Thursday. The second-seeded Sabalenka beat Japanese qualifier Mayuka Uchijima 6-2, 6-2 on court Philippe Chatrier as showers again affected play at Roland Garros. The inclement weather, which was expected to last for much of the day, halted play on all courts not equipped with a roof for the third consecutive day. It's going to be a bit tricky today, so we are keeping our fingers crossed, tournament director Emilia Mauresmo said. Sabalenka, who reached the French Open semi-finals last year, will next face Paula Badosa, a close friend and her doubles partner for this year's clay court Grand Slam tournament. Fifth-seeded Daniil Medvedev also reached the third round after his opponent Miomir Kecmanovic retired while trailing 6-1, 5-0. The Serbian player decided to quit the match after 55 minutes of play. 3 days after defeating Rafael Nadal, number 4 Alexander Zverev beat David Goffin 7-6, 6-2, 6-2 on court Suzanne-Lenglen. Let's have a look on today's weather forecast. Before finishing today's news, let's hear out the headlines again. Donald Trump guilty on all 34 felony counts in hush money trial. Ron DeSantis hopes to raise at least $10 million to boost Trump. Senator Bob Menendez has enough signatures to run as an independent despite his bribery trial. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. files complaint over rules for CNN's presidential debate next month. Biden to make his first state visit to France after attending D-Day 80th commemorations next week. Nikki Haley writes, "Finish them on Israeli shell," lawmaker says. Boeing reaches deadline for reporting how it will fix aircraft safety and quality problems. General Hospital actor Johnny Victor died in arms of co-worker he shielded from harm moments before he was fatally shot. John Lennon's lost guitar, featured on Help, sold for a record 2.8 million. Iran opens presidential election registration after Ibrahim Rais's death in a helicopter crash. North Korea fires a volley of short-range ballistic missiles. And Arina Sabalenka and Daniil Medvedev advance as rain continues to disrupt the French Open. That's all for today. Keep watching Millennium News Hour for latest news update. To stay updated, like our Facebook page, subscribe our YouTube channel and visit our website. Our website address is www.millenniumnews24.com. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for all at TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia, available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jagu TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jagu BD Network and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with us for all the latest news worldwide. Thank you.